Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of August 13th, and we have a pretty dynamic, explosive week ahead. I'm hesitating because my heart's just beating so fast. I'm under the influence of all this explosive energy right now, and I feel literally like I just have stuff that just wants to shoot out of me. I'm going to do my best to stay nice and calm and collected and give you the astrology for the week because it's very special. And it's one of those weeks that the astrologers, like myself, were paying attention to when they were looking at the 2024 yearly astrology. There came this point in mid-August where we have this very special meetup of these two planets. And also this week, another thing I'll be discussing is the full moon in Aquarius. It's a supermoon, and that is on the last day of this astrology week. So here we go. It's the planetary lineup I speak of that I get so excited about is Mars and Jupiter. And I'm a Sagittarius stellium ruled by the planet of Jupiter. So whenever I talk about Jupiter or Jupiter is in a strong, potent transit like this one, I can just feel it a little extra. Folks, with Mars ruled energy, those are our Aries folks in our life. So Aries and Sagittarius, signs that are being just ultimately affected by this lineup here at 16 degrees of Gemini. So you look in your birth chart and do you have any planets or points near there? This is also going to be affecting you strongly, potently, if these things line up. And Mars is our action. This is our physical body. This is our go-getter warrior spirit. Jupiter is the planet of good luck and of opportunity and of wisdom and of gifts. And so these two energies coming together at 16 degrees of Gemini. Gemini is an interesting sign because it's the only sign that's represented by two of something, the twins. So Gemini deals with our twin siblings, if we are lucky enough to have that in this life. But this is going to be like our best friends. This is going to be our soulmates. This is going to be our business partnerships. These are one-on-one relationships here that are represented by these twins of Gemini. And in Gemini, there's always two of everything also. So with this conjunction, we're not going to see it just once. We're going to see it twice. And we might even get follow-up little ripples from that because Gemini is a sign that's all about gathering information. And in this, there is this aspect where we take things in. Gemini is a Mercury ruled sign. So we take things into our mind, and then our mind has this beautiful creative way of replaying things over and over and over again. And this is another Gemini characteristic. So with this conjunction, we're going to be seeing it over and over and over and over again. We've been feeling it for a couple weeks moving in and a couple of weeks moving out. And because these are both sort of slower moving planets, this conjunction lasts for a few days, for a couple of weeks, for a month or 2 months moving in and out. We can see these types of actions coming in that are over the top. Jupiter has a way of expanding everything. So Mars is already this type of energy that wants to shoot first, ask questions later, not think about things or feel into things. Thinking about things is a Mercury thing. Feeling into things is a Venus thing. Doing things and just getting it done is a Mars thing. So we have this really brash, sort of irrational, impulsive energy to Mars that comes in. And when that gets expanded and given multiple opportunities to show itself, Jupiter in Gemini, then there is this expansion that can go really well because, ultimately something finally just needed to be done or be said or be given an opportunity to move, to take action on. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for taking action. But like I said, you might actually have to do it a couple of times or even a few times or several times. We're still in the midst of a Mercury retrograde, which tends to make us repeat and redo and recirculate and recalculate. So there is this idea this week that there are big things happening. Jupiter, there is action that wants to be taken. Mars, and there is also this energy of redoing things over and over again also. So that's a really not super rare conjunction, but it doesn't always happen in every sign. So each sign, Gemini here, is offering up this extra type of theme, these extra type of themes, this extra characteristics, applying it to this conjunction. So again, where is 16 degrees Gemini in your birth chart? That's where you can look at the house that lands in, and you can see which house that is in, and you can see where this conjunction might be taking place over and over and over and over and over again for you in your personal life. Because I just give the overarching astrology, and I don't know everybody's birth chart. So that's where coming into play with a little bit of extra research there really helps to bring a little bit more of a personalized report here for you can do that for yourself if you have your birth chart. So, Mercury retrograde. Yes, this is a double sign, Mercury retrograde, slowing down of everything involving communication, transportation, like routine transportation, errands here and there, short trips. This is also technology, communicating, TVs, computers, phones, gadgets, gizmos. This is also the market. Mercury comes from the mercado word, which is markets. So the actual stock markets and the markets slow down. This can be a time where people say, don't sign any big contracts. Don't spend any large amounts of money during Mercury retrograde because we tend to make a lot of mistakes. But if it's something that you've already been working on, you've already done all of your research, and this is the time that it's going to be given to you, the opportunity, Mars+Jupiter, to indeed listen to your intuition, because that's what a retrograde is all about. It's about using our intuition and allowing that to be strong. 444 across all my clocks here. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community. This Mercury retrograde moving from Virgo back into Leo themes. This happens on August 14th And so we get a shift of focus here, a shift of focus of this retrograde. Retrogrades are a time where we look into the past. We look to fix things, to go and redo and revamp and anything. Any word that starts with RE is a wonderful retrograde activity and fits in really nicely with the cosmic energies. But Virgo is a servant. Virgo is a cleaner. Virgo's a detoxifier. Virgo wants to make everything new again, like the Virgin Bride that represents that sign. Leo is the sign that comes before that and encompasses a much different energy. This is an outward energy. This is where we want to be seen and be heard, like the lion that roars, the lion that rules the sign of Leo. When the sun is still in Leo, it is still Leo season. It is still summertime, no matter if all of the propaganda is changing to fall items and all of the thought processes have moved ahead. This Mercury is coming back into Leo to remind us to continue on with some Leo themes before the end of this Leo season. And this is where we find courage. This is where we find bravery. This is where we step up into our true identity. Leo has a confidence. It's like that lion standing on the rock, surveying the land and the beautiful hairs blowing in the wind, and everybody just gathers around that beautiful creature just to bask in its glory. Leo is also a sign that can be a little dramatic. It can be drama. It can be over the top with some of that. It can be almost like a show. You know, people that have a lot of Leo energy might be folks that are always putting on a show, but this is a great time that if we're looking to exhibit some of this confidence, if some of this bravery is what we need to step into, then we still have time to do that. We are fast moving into Virgo season. By next week, the sun will be moving into Virgo on August 22nd. So we really do want to enjoy this time right now and let the wind blow in our hair and that sun, that vitamin D come into our skin. We lose it fast. And so Mercury retrograde coming back into Leo to remind us of some of these things. We're going to be looking into past events. This was about 3 weeks ago or so when Mercury was back here in Leo, and we were just setting up for this Mercury retrograde. So this is like the second pass, and we're learning what this Mercury retrograde has been about for us. And now with some fresh Leo energy, we're going to deepen this intuitive connection with Mercury retrograde. So, moving along to more of the astrology, that Mars conjunct Jupiter comes back into play here on the full moon in Aquarius. This is a supermoon. This means that the moon is very close to the Earth, so it looks quite big, and it's at 27 degrees of Aquarius. For those that look at their birth charts and want to check out where this is going to show up for them in their personal life, again, looking at the house where 27 degrees of Aquarius shows up in your birth chart. But Aquarius is a sign that's all about freedom and innovation and technology and the future, and is ruled by the planet of Uranus. Uranus is the planet of surprise and awakening. And so we can feel during an Aquarius full moon, especially, where a full moon is a culmination event of the lunar cycle. This is where all of the energy of the moon is exhibited fully for us, and it's expressing itself fully. Well, the moon represents our expressions also. Moon represents our mood. So our mood is going to be all about Aquarius themes, individuality, finding what it is about yourself that makes you completely unique. Aquarius folks are not afraid to live their lives completely for themselves to the beat of their own drum. They're the water bearers. They bless all the waters for everybody else to be blessed. These are the ultimate blessed individuals. Now, there is a sense to Aquarius where it can be detached from any type of sympathy or empathy. There is a detachment from emotion because it's such a sign about awakening and enlightening and moving forward in the future, that who has time to slow down and try and figure out each individual feeling and apply that? Like, it's just a much more quick moving energy, Aquarius is, than that. So the moon wants us to examine our emotions, and Aquarius is not so much about that. So again, bringing in this kind of vibe where the Mars+Jupiter is kind of taking action without thinking, that Aquarius is kind of down for that kind of party too. Like, what do we want to get done? How can we organize ourselves into a group, Aquarius, of like-minded people, and then take action on something quick as a lightning bolt? The planet of Uranus represents Aquarius. So a very interesting energy on this full supermoon. And there is so many more layers going on. There are 3 T-squares taking place, and it is quite a chart. If you've ever looked at a chart, there's different colored lines, and the red lines are the more challenging aspects. The blue lines can tend to symbolize things that are a little easier or smoother flowing, and this one is full of deep, dark red lines. T-squares are made up of an opposition of 2 planets, and then another planet at 90 degrees. And the strongest one, well, I mean, that really depends on your own birth chart and how you interact with this energy and how it tends to play out in your life. But what I'm sort of seeing as the stronger T-square here is this Jupiter Mars in a T-square with Venus making an opposition to Saturn. Venus and Saturn elements, aspects can be tense anyways, because they're sort of opposite energies. Venus wants to be this soft lover, and Saturn is like the cold fatherly figure. So it's already hard to mix these energies, and Saturn is retrograde right now also. So Saturn's like reviewing the past and like mulling over some things and is going through its own process right now. Venus moves pretty quickly. So this is a pretty quick moving aspect, but the fact that the opposition of Venus and Saturn, the T-square 90 degrees off with the Mars-Jupiter conjunction, it could just mean that, again, the tendency is to shoot out into the angle. And so the energy is going to move out through this Mars-Jupiter, and it could create irrational behavior, super impulsive action that is regretted later, that needs to be literally cleaned up. Like, there are going to be messes that need to be cleaned up, and that's just what's going to take place. There could be accidents, just kind of messy things. There could be arguments. Mars also represents war and military and outbursts and anger too. So just watch out for all of this. If something is not coming together here at the full moon for you on August 19th, just know that there is that Mercury retrograde, and we can we can retreat into our intuition, into our heart space, which is where Leo is calling us anyways. And another aspect in the T-square, the second T-square here, is we have the sun in a combustion with Mercury on the day of the full moon, which is huge energy just by itself. The sun combust Mercury creates fire. It creates tension. It creates the need to want to do something. And this is at 27 degrees, 26 degrees of Leo. And Leo can be big and dramatic and take action and burn things down too, as a fire sign. So here we have some really big communication coming in that changes our identity, the sun, and is big and dramatic. Leo causing a big fiery combustion in these elements here. That is in an opposition to the moon here, and that is going to create a big feeling around it. This is all taking place on the full moon, and the T-square off is to the planet of Uranus, which is that planet of awakening, the lightning bolt of surprise. I just think that there could be some big surprising things, some big communication, some big action. There's going to be opportunities everywhere to communicate about all different kinds of things and take action on those communications. So just be very, very super careful. We are setting up for our this is actually the last full moon before the next eclipse cycle. So we are setting up, as we are moving out of this Mercury retrograde, for an eclipse season that's going to be ever so powerful. So any types of actions that we took that didn't turn out so well, Mercury retrograde, things just getting a little messy, it's all going to get cleaned up by the cosmic course correctors, the nodes of destiny, come the eclipses next month. So, wow, a big, big report this week. And I just hope that you were able to glean some good stuff here that you can take with you and help you to live your most benevolent life. And I will be talking to you again very soon. Take good care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.